Hey PC, it's Buck. I'm back again. I'm going to show you how to hex on the blue pillow. This time we're going to make a bed. Just wanted to throw out there I'm from Bloomingfield Kennels and Medusa in case you guys want to piece together where I am in the PC. I hang out on PKC, DG, RKC, and Whiskerwick, the Discords as well, so I'm around everywhere. Anyways, I've made my pictures over here. Cleaned up my desktop because it was way too distracting. But yeah, let's make it happen. So I'm going to make my first toy in Pets 5, and the reason I'm going to do this is because the images actually turn out a lot crisper if you do it first in Pets 5 and then transfer it over to Pets 4. Pets 4 is kind of just shitty anyways, so we're going to do a Pets 5 and a Pets 4 version in this tutorial just so you guys know kind of my whole process instead of doing a toy for one or the other and then having to transfer it over later. Alright, so I'm going to look for the blue pillow. That's the base that I want to hex off of. I'm going to save it before I touch anything because if I don't do that, you know me, then I start making all kinds of changes and and then I save over top of the blue pillow. Alright, so we're going to do, what are we going to do? Let's do, I think that number's already in use for me, but we will use it anyways. And then I can change it later. I forgot to find and open breed ID. That was silly of me. How many ones is that? Alright, so we're going to change all of our sprite names. This pill_B1 is what the pillow sprite is called. So any instances we see here, we're going to change it. I haven't really, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I haven't really changed any of the on-screen tips. That's what this text is here. And the 312 I think is a reference to what tip it's supposed to grab. But I haven't changed that to see if it actually changes the script on the screen because I don't play P5. So no offense, I don't really do a whole lot of experimenting with it. I kind of just do the bare minimum. But we will call this the winter bed and save that. Okay, so now technically we could go into P5 and in theory this bed would show up, but we've got to change a couple other things. We need our hex editor, which is what I'm in now, and always check your pathways. I'm in Pets 4 right now. I need to switch over to Pets 5. Open up the winter bed. Now we can hit Control F to find, and we'll search for sprite. And that'll bring us almost to where we want to go. We gotta scroll, scroll, scroll. And you'll notice that I copy and pasted, which is what I find easiest, but you can also just type directly over, which works too. So anyways, any of these pill_B1s we're going to change to what our sprite name is, and you can choose whatever you like as long as it's the exact same amount of characters. So 7 characters long, no longer or no shorter, because otherwise you are going to screw stuff up. So this one has, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 instances where you have to change it. So then we're going to save, whoops, not open. Save that. Now we're done in our hex editor for now until we go back to our P4 version. We want to go to Pets 5, Toys, and our winter bed. Open that up. I've got a bit of a cold, I'm sorry. I felt like doing a tutorial, but I hope it's not too bad. Hopefully you guys can bear with me here. I always like to get my away images done first, just to make sure I don't forget about them later. And basically these X and Y shifts are very important, so that's why I do, I just import instead of copy pasting. And this isn't really a big deal. I mean, the Y shift changes to 74 instead of 76, but I like to keep it the exact same as the original version that the pillow came with. Otherwise, sometimes things get screwed up and you can't find it in game. So that's done. Now we've got to fiddle around with this. And I kind of just go one step at a time, and you'll have to bear with me because sometimes it takes a couple of tries to get things perfect. For example, so this is where it's very important. We got to keep an eye on this X shift and this Y shift. These two already, you'll notice, even if you hit the top here, they go back and forth, back and forth. So we're going to have to choose one over the other. And I think I'm going to change this one to 186 because it's just a little bit easier for me to memorize. So now the grabbed, we can actually just copy paste these. And you can play with these animations, like this pillow swings back and forth, you can see in the original game. So you can play around with animations and make your graphics a little bit different than I'm doing mine. I just try to keep it simple and I don't want to spend hours and hours of graphics. So now that we've got that, I always like to click on this head title here to make sure it'll go through the actual animation. And if there's something out of place, then that's how you'll tell. So now I'm going to just copy paste this, and then we'll do, we'll change this Y shift as we go kind of thing. I'll come back to it. I'm not that multi-talented. Okay, this is the gist of what I want. So you can see dropping, it starts to drop a little bit and then it stays where it's at because I didn't, like, I just copy pasted, so all of my X and Y shifts are in the exact same location. So we're gonna have to fix that now. So if you want, like, this is just gonna be like a nice little slow fall. You can always mess around with this and change things around as you wish, but I'm just going to do a nice little gentle fall here. So now you can see that it's dropping, and you kind of have to have a good eye. I mean, you can barely tell, but that's what I wanted. I just wanted a nice gentle fall. And you can always go back and double check your numbers, which they look good. So now this frame, 100 and 104, you have to kind of keep that in mind when you're doing your resting photo. So I'm going to copy this. Actually, no, I'm going to import. Importing is always better than copying. And now we're going to change our X and Y shift. So we're going to go 100 and we're going to go 107, just so it gives it a nice little plop at the end. So we're going to copy this and paste it here. And see, it does look the same for the images, but sometimes copy and pasting is a bit of a wonky thing to do. So now for used, again, we're gonna paste all of these so that that's the spot where our bed is for X and Y shift in space, I mean. And we'll just paste all these. Whoops, yes, 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 I know. Okay. And now we'll go and do our little animation. And this is when the pet actually is placed on this. That's what this used means. So we're going to keep it simple and just keep it in place here so that when the pet plops on it, it just kind of does a little back and forth thing so that you know that the pet has actually indeed landed on the pillow. Back and forth, back and forth. And it's as simple as that. So again, just click on the head title to make sure that nothing's going wonky. All right, so in theory, this is all we need to do for our P5 version. So if you wanted to, you know, if you created this in P4 first, then you're essentially done. All you have to do for the P5 is modify your carrying case. Otherwise, you have to go through the game and like all the mini games to add it to your carry case. BFK winter bed, we're going to add to carry case. And okay, now we're going to open up Pets 5. And it should show up as long as it's not clashing with any of my other IDs. I didn't double check this breed ID, but that's something really simple that we can change. in case we have to. Oh, I also didn't open up my games prior to this tutorial, so it might take a while. Really sorry. But we can always try and open up our P4. Get started on that toy as we're going. Alright, so this should... Wow, this is loud, sorry. This should show up. There it is. And there's our little animation. Look at that. Okay, so you'll notice the hand is kind of out in random space. Not really grabbing onto the toy. So that's the last thing that we're going to do. Yes, go away. We're going to turn the sounds off because that's driving me crazy. Alright, so that's one last thing we need to do in Tinker. My winter bed. And that is the takeout and the grabbed. So where we have our X and Y shifts, that's where the hand is grabbing. So you'll notice it's out here in space. We're going to want to move it over here and maybe up or down a little bit. But for the most part, we just want to make sure it's kind of in the center of the bed. Or you can put it on the corner or wherever you want. Just play around with your X and your Y shifts. For the bed, though, make sure to change the takeout and the grabbed because they kind of need to be the exact same. So actually, I'm going to change this to 15 and maybe 80 and see how that is. See if I like it. So here we'll just copy and paste. Yeah, sorry. To make sure that we get all of our frames the exact same. And you'll see that it moved. Now save that. Perfect. Beautiful. I'm pretty happy with that. But yeah, like I said, you can try moving it around. You know, if you want it to grab down here, you can figure that out. So we're done with the P5 version. We are going to go over to P4. I'm going to keep this because we're basically just going to copy and paste all of this over into our P4 version. So in lines, we want to go to Pets 4, Toys, and again, open up the blue pillow. That's our main base that we want to hex off. File save as, BFK winter bed. Save. This I might have to change later for P4 because I have a ton more toys in my P4 than I do my P5. So again, we are going to change all of these. So this is basically converting it. You're basically just creating another toy, which kind of sucks, but once you get into the habit of it, it really doesn't take that long. That's your on-screen tip, so just change it to whatever you want. Carry on and change all of these sprite names. I like to change this. That's kind of just my OCD kicking in. We're done in lines. Now we go to our hex editor. Make sure you go over to P4. I like to name my P4 and my P5 toys a little bit differently, which I didn't do in this tutorial. I should have. But for my P5 toys, I usually like to stick P5 on the end so that I know either if I'm editing or when I'm sending emails, when I send both of them together, that I know they're not going to clash. So again, we find our pill underscore B1, which is our sprite name, and we change all of those occurrences. This isn't that big of a deal. The underscore pill, you can just leave that. I know Amy does change it, but I just leave it. Whatever you want to do, it's your preference. Play around with stuff and figure out what works for you best. Okay, open up the winter bed. We want both of these sprites. Again, I'm going to do the away first, just to get it over with so I don't forget. And import is what I do for all of these to keep my X and Y shift intact. Then I'm going to save that. Now, I like to make sure that I can see all of this rather than scrolling back and forth, which is annoying. Now we're just going to shift and copy and paste. this part is nice and fast and simple. So really, converting your toys isn't that much of a pain in the ass. It's actually really nice to do for the community. So if you don't mind doing it, you might as well. This is how it'll show up in P4. So you can see if I had done this in P4 first, this is what it would look like. Then I would copy and paste it into P5, and that's what it would look like here too. But you can see night and day, this is a lot crisper and clearer. It keeps our image pretty much intact. You might change it a little bit. The P4 is a little bit more grainy, and the graphics are a little bit worse, but not a big deal. So that's why I do the P5 version first. So our lovely P5 users have nice graphics. Alright, and the used B. Then we can test it, and then off we go. Save. And test her out. I finally changed my background. I had it as Halloween still up until yesterday. I think I changed it. So finally, Thor made fun of me. She noticed I still had my Halloween background, so I picked a nice little winter one, or Christmas background. This is always the killer. Like, is it gonna work? I don't know. And if you're doing your own, you can go in after each step we do in lines in our hex editor and in Tinker, go in between and open it up, especially the first, you know, dozen times that you do a toy. Oh my goodness, it looks horrible in P4. Her graphic looks so bad. This is what happens sometimes if we copy and paste. I might go back in and see if I can fix it, but sometimes you just pick something that doesn't look that great in Pets 4. So anyways, the toy works, and that's the important thing. And when we set it on the bed, you know, if we hadn't changed all of our X and Y's, then it would shift funny and stuff too, but it looks good. And my little kitty from the Sandthrope loves it. So thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to like and comment on this video. If you have any questions or anything, feel free to either message me, comment on my YouTube channel. You know, Discord, I'm on pretty much every day. Send me a personal message or just tag me in a thread somewhere. I do want to start doing lots of tutorials more often rather than just once a month. I did my last toy hexing tutorial about a month ago. But yeah, hit me up, ask me questions, and you know, if I get lots of interest, I'm actually even considering making a Discord specifically for toy and clothes hexing. So yeah, let's make it happen. Hope you had fun today. I'm going to do videos on a lot of the different bases. You know, like today I did the blue pillow, last time I did a leprechaun. You know, I could do one on a soccer ball, I could do one on the jack-o'-lantern, whatever you guys want, I will do. So I play around and I kind of just basically do my own thing and experiment a lot. So that's basically what it is to be a toy maker and to hex clothes. You kind of just gotta get comfortable being uncomfortable, because when I first started I was like, I don't know what the heck I'm doing. But yeah, play around, experiment, and create lots of cool stuff. And you know, some not so cool stuff. Oh, I think it looks better in P5. That might just be a P5 toy. Anyways, again, thanks for watching. Now I'm rambling. This video is going on forever, but make sure to hit me up. I love questions. I love helping people. I love people who want to learn how to hex, because that's how we contribute to the community. So awesome. Have a great day.